Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. This time we're talking about the new cards spoiled from Draft Box 4. So you might have noted me from a previous video saying this. I don't even remember what video it was from, but I was saying I was a little bit worried about what Bandai would design for Draft Box 4 because I know they were trying to design the draft box for draft specifically, and I was kind of worried they wouldn't kind of take the rest of the format, the rest of the game into consideration when doing this set basically. But I've already read through the cards and I am incredibly happy with how they're done. I think they're very well designed. I think this is a set you should definitely consider buying if you're looking for like what sets are good to buy, whether you're new to the game, whether you're already deep in the game. I think this is a very good set. I think I want to do that more. I think I want to help you guys kind of figure out what products, what sets are worth buying. So far, from just the red cards alone, this draft box looks very, very good. It looks great for players that love draft, and it looks great for players that want to add a little bit of power to their red constructed decks. We're gonna go through the cards in just a second. Before we get into the video, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the awesome Dragon Ball Super content that I post here. If you're new to Dragon Ball Super, looking for someone to get plugged in, check out the Discord in the description below. Amazing group of people, really helpful people. And finally, guys, if you're longtime fans of the channel or want to get caught up on some competitive content, check out the Patreon in the description below. Really helpful stuff, really competitive content, and really helps the channel out. So with that being said, we're going to get into this video. So first off, we have the new Vegeta leader coming out of the draft box. Now, I don't know if this is the only leader coming in the draft box. Normally, in the past, it's been 4 different leaders coming in the draft box. But this guy kind of is a very multi-purpose leader, so I think this could be the only leader in the draft box. Again, I don't know. If you have any more information on that, please do drop that in the comments below. But this leader, what he does is he is a blue leader base, but this card is also treated as red, green, and yellow. And if it's your turn and your opponent's leader card is facing up, if your opponent's leader card's back is facing up, so basically if your opponent's leader is awakened or wished, this card gets 5,000 power. So you have basically the option to be an awakened leader when your opponent's an awakened leader. He has base critical, which is pretty nice. Awaken when it lasts 4 or less, draw 2 and flip this over. Now draw 2 and flip this over, that's very, very good for draft. You just get that little bit of boost in card advantage. You can also stay on the unawakened side with critical. You won't get any card draw, but you will stay critical, and critical is huge in draft format. On the back side, Vegeta Furious Awakening. This card's also treated as red, green, and yellow. So again, he's basically a quote-unquote multicolor leader. You can use any type of negate with him. You can use a lot of different super combos with him. When you attack with this card, draw 1. This guy is not amazing by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think he's going to be a very meta-defining leader in terms of constructed play, but in draft, he's really, really good, again, because you have all the different colors. He's not like a universe type of leader, so if they do some Universe 7 support in this box set, it could get a little bit weird. Again, I don't know if there's going to be other leaders in the draft promo. Let me know if you guys know that. This is the only one that I am currently aware of. But with that being said, we're going to get into these red cards. So, getting to the top here, we'll go through them one by one. There are a ton of good red cards in this set. Not every single one's amazing, but we'll go through it. So we have Son Goku, Might of Many. So he is a Goku GT, 5-drop, 16k with base critical. Permanent, this card gets plus 3k power for each skillless battle card in your drop area. So first thing this says to me is red skillless. Red skillless is a popular deck, and this guy gets boosted from skillless cards being in the drop area, so it makes sense that this card would synergize with that. If there are 2 or more skillless battle cards in your drop area, that reduce energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So he becomes a 3-drop if you have 2 more skillless in your drop area, and he will gain 6k power just from that. So he'd be a 22k battler for critical. Not too bad. I'm not sure how good this is going to be in the draft format or constructed. Not one of the better cards. But this card, Super Saiyan Vegeta, Exploiting Weakness. This card's absolutely insane. So we have a 5-drop 19k. Not the best stats, but he's a counterplay. And permanent, if your leader card's red, reduce energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So that Vegeta leader already works with this. But obviously, there's a ton of good red leaders in the format. We have like Pan, Vegeta Baby, things like that. When you play this card, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, and then get minus 20,000 power for duration of the turn. And if it's your opponent's turn, choose one of your leader cards, and it gets 5,000 power for duration of the turn. This card is absolutely insane. I think it's incredibly balanced too. So it's a 3-drop counterplay in the best scenario when you're playing a red leader, and it's gonna come in and it's gonna give every single one of your opponent's battle cards minus 20k. Just think about the implications of this against things like Veggies or Storm back in the days. Anything that goes wide, like the new Veggies, honestly, the new U6 Kaba deck. This card is insane. It's a board wipe for 3 energy. Again, the 3 energy I think makes it very balanced. The fact that it pretty much has to be played in a red leader, otherwise it's a 5 energy counterplay. I think that's very, very balanced. So, but again, it's an incredible, incredible card. So this card is going to be great and constructed, great in the draft format, really good. Trunks, Deluge of Power. He's a 2-drop 10k Trunks GT, so you can put Chain Attack over him. If your battle card is red, in battle, when you combo this card, it gets plus 5,000 power for duration of the turn. So basically a 10k combo for a red battle card. Not the greatest, not the worst, not the greatest. A 1-drop 10k Giru, just a draft card basically. Majin Buu, the Reincarnator. So this is a 4-drop 15k. This card's pretty good. So when you play this card, choose up to 1 red battle card, then it costs 3 or less in your drop area and play it. So just in draft, I mean, this is really great. This is a 4-drop 15. Those are kind of small stats for draft, but you do get to put another body onto the board, and there are a lot of good red bodies to put onto the board with this card's effect. But in constructed format, like in obviously regular play, this card seems pretty bonkers. So think about like chain attack into this guy because it's a 15k or less red battle card. Not that red matters, but it's a 15k or less battle card. Think about bringing back something like Dignity Vegeta. Think about bringing something back like Fearless Pan. So you would bring back Fearless Pan, you know, this guy, your chain attack, and if you played a red leader, would all get the plus 5k double strike. That's a pretty big board going for game. So really strong. This card is very good, and it is a Buu, so it might see some play in like pure Buu decks. I don't know though, because it's a 4-drop. That's pretty steep, but again, very good card nonetheless. Champa, Destruction Perfected. We have a 5-drop 19k permanent. If there are any red god or alien cards in play in your battle area other than this card gets plus 6k power and gains double strike and critical. So if you're playing a U6 or god based deck, you basically can give this a double strike crit, so that's pretty big. But for a 5-drop, still pretty weak. When you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards knowing barrier, gets minus 20,000 power for duration of the turn. So really good in draft for that minus 20, but and the fact that it ignores barrier is pretty nice. But the fact that it's a 5-drop, I'm not quite sure about this card in constructed. Not super great. Champa, Destruction Augmented. So this is an activate battle once per turn for 1 colorless. Choose 2 cards in your hand, place them in your drop area. Choose all god and alien cards in your battle area. They get plus 10,000 power and double strike for duration of the turn. Alright, that's pretty insane. So basically this is a Fearless Pan almost for god and alien cards. So that's not really restrictive on colors. So you could theoretically play this with like the new U6 stuff if you played some type of red-yellow or red-blue build with the new stuff. Like some people are messing around with Explosive Power Kefla with U6. So this would work for that. Choose 2 cards and you're gonna place them in the drop area, so that can be like dead 10ks or dead extra cards, dead negates, and you're going for games. So boost all gods and aliens in your battle area by 10k and double strike. So that's a bigger boost than Fearless Pan, and it seems as though this also boosts itself. So basically a 4-drop 29k double strike that can potentially boost the rest of your board. I like this card a lot. This card actually is pretty solid. It doesn't seem like you can bring it back with that Buu because it's 19k, but nonetheless seems like a good card. Vados, Assembled Might. So 7 drops already pretty steep. Let's see what it does. Triple attack, deflect, 20k. Pretty small for a 7-drop, to be honest. Your opponent has 4 more energy. When this card attacks, look it up 10 cards top of your deck. Choose up to 1 red god or red alien card with 19,000 power or less among them and play it. Shuffle your deck. Then at the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose 1 of your red energy. Switch to active mode. So no way to cheat this in. No seeming way to cheat this in. Seems pretty rough. This card is definitely not one of the better cards. It might be decent for draft as a game ender because games will go to turn 7 in draft, but not the most impressive card I've ever seen. Kaba, Surging Forward, 19k dual attack, not bad for draft, not great in constructed. Caulifla, Frenzied Sister. This is a 2-drop, 15k. Activate main, send this card from your drop area to your warp. Choose up to 1 red Universe 6 card in your battle area, gets plus 5,000 power for duration of the turn. So this is an interesting one. This one pretty decent for draft because it's 2-drop 15k and an additional effect in the drop area. So that additional effect in the drop area is going to give this a little bit of extra value. So think about in like Shenron Veggies or something abusing Sand Team or Kaba. You bring this out. This is a target off of the 4-drop Caulifla. You can swing with it. If they clear it, if they attack over it, it gets extra value the next turn by warping it from your drop area to get something like an extra 5k. So not too bad. Kale, Frenzied Sister. This card's actually really good. I like this a lot. So 3-drop 15k, another target off of the 4-drop Caulifla. It's a blocker. At the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode and it gets plus 5,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So I like how it's an aggressive 15k and then you can flip it back up for a 20k blocker during your opponent's turn. I do like that a lot. This card seems like it's gonna be pretty decent in constructed. Kefla, Roar of Destruction. This card seems absolutely nuts. So let's read what it does. 5-drop, 20k, double strike. Activate battle, 2 colorless energy. If you have 4 more energy and you choose 2 alien cards in your battle area other than Kefla, Roar of Destruction, return the chosen cards to the owner's hands. Then play this card from your hand, and you can't play battle cards for duration of the turn. That's a pretty steep drawback, but a pretty balanced one, I assume, or I guess. So that's something to note there. So activate battle 2, you get to basically cheat this in by bouncing 2 of your own aliens back to your hand. So you could swing with like a Saiyan Kaba, you could swing with a Sister Attack Kale, something like that. But an interesting ruling to note is, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to work like this, but if you played No Escape Son Goku earlier in the game, because that stops cards from basically bouncing back to hand without keyword skills. I don't think activate battle is a keyword skill, but I could be wrong. So it looks like that you could choose 2 aliens in your battle area, but then not bounce them because of No Escape Son Goku, and then you could play this card from your hand without bouncing the 2. So it's a kind of a way to keep board presence on board without having to, you know, lose that, and then you can cheat this into play still. So that could be a thing. Don't quote me on it. That could also not be a thing. Auto, when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 20,000 power for duration of the turn. That's a really good effect straight up. Basically removal. I'm a big fan. I really like non-KO removal because some things are kind of starting to float nowadays. Botomo Vegeta, more vanilla red skillless support. Again, goes good with the first GT Goku we saw. Just a good card to have. Another counterattack Topo. Topo Righteous Aid, 4-drop. Permanent if it's your opponent's turn. Reduce energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So you don't need like a specific requirement like the old Topo where your opponent or you have to be awakened. If it's your opponent's turn, when you play this card, for duration of the turn, your opponent can't attack unless they choose 2 cards from their hand and place them in their drop area each time. This card is insane. This is basically a Nimbus for red, which is actually really good. Red has Is That All You Got, which is of course very good, but this card is much more of a floodgate defense type card as opposed to Is That All You Got. Is That All You Got costs 2 cards out of your hand. This one costs 2 energy, but basically your opponent's never attacking for the rest of the turn. That's pretty insane. However, funnily enough, this can be counter-sided by the Tau 2-drop black card. So like if your opponent's going to ditch 2, you're going to have to warp 6, I believe. So that's kind of funny, but not really going to come up against a red leader. So something to note there. Jiren, Shackles of the Past. This is a very cool card. So this is a 1-drop barrier, permanent. Only 1 can be played in your battle area. When there are 10 or more battle cards in your drop area with 10,000 power, at the start of your main phase, for the duration of the turn, this card gets 25,000 power, double strike, and dual attack, and your opponent can't activate counter skills unless they place 2 cards from the hand in the drop area as an additional cost. This card's really cool, so you need to have this on the board before you go into the start of your main phase with 10k power battle cards in there, because it checks at the beginning of the main phase. That's something to note, but it is a barrier, so it will stick around normally. And this again just screams like a skillless build, but more so it screams like a red Gogeta build because all your Gokus and Vegetas are 10Ks. This seems like a very cool alternate win condition against a deck like, or for a deck like that. So this card I think will be very good. Not so good in draft maybe. I don't really think you can get all those 10Ks, but in constructed it seems very good. Mogadon, the Savage Strongman. I actually have no idea where this guy's from, so if anyone could drop down in the comments below, let me know. So this is a 3-drop 19k. Activate battle once per turn. Choose 1 Mogadon underling card from your deck, play it, then shuffle your deck. That's some free real estate right there. When you have 3 or more underling cards in your battle area, at the end of your turn, choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand. So a little bit of self-awakening, not too bad, but that free real estate seems pretty solid. Mogadon Alien Bonds. So this is not an underling, so just keep that in mind. Activate battle once per turn. Bond 2. This card, this skill takes effect when you have 2 or more of the specified battle cards in play. Choose up to 1 of your red alien cards in the battle area, and it gets plus 10,000 power for duration of the turn. So a little boost, not too bad. Here we have the underling finally. You can include as many copies of this card in your deck as you like. So that's the 3rd one. First one is Metacooler, 2nd one Cyberman, and then this is the 3rd one. Permanent Bond 2 Alien. This card gets 5,000 power. So a 2-drop 15k beater that you can spam from the deck for free. Not too bad. Niagara Drop. I'm not too sure this card's very good, but we'll see. Activate battle, 2-drop. If your leader card's a red sand card, that's the cost. Choose 1 of your leader cards or battle cards, and for duration of the turn, that card gets 5,000 power. Then if it likes a 3 or less and it's your opponent's turn, choose 1 of your red energy, switch it to active mode, and draw 1 card. This card, I'm not super over the top with it. It's a worse Unbreakable in almost all situations. This card, not very good. Maybe decent in draft, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Gallic Gun, this card's insane. 1-drop counterplay, red. When the battle card is played, choose 1 of those battle cards and it gets 15,000 power minus for duration of the turn. This card is absolutely nuts. I don't think it really acts like Cold Bloodlust or like a Preemptive Strike where you stop the play of the card. It doesn't say anywhere on the card you stop the play of it. So even if you kill a 15k battle card, it seems like they're going to still get any enter play effects. But this card is just so good for generic removal. Like think about this versus like Chomp of Vados. You minus 15 it, then you like after image it. That's super insane. Or if they arrival it on your own turn, you minus 15 it, and then you use some other effect to reduce the rest of it. This card is incredible. So overall, I think about half the cards in the set, if not more, are going to be playable in the metagame, which is already a great reason to buy this. If you love draft, I think it's going to be a very, very fun draft format. Kudos to Bandai for designing the set the way it is. I think it's incredibly well balanced, and I think it's going to be very helpful in the competitive scene. So guys, let me know what you guys think about this set in the comments below. I do think this is one you should definitely consider picking up, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Joey. This is Crossroad TCG, and I'll see you guys in the next video.